300,000 metric tons. That's 661 million pounds of beef entering America's market, allegedly for reducing the overall cost to the consumer, to you. But American farmers and ranchers are pissed. So let's talk about it. All right, so there's an important distinction here. One, the latest 300,000 ton announcement is not exclusively about Argentina. It applies more broadly to imported beef. Argentina was involved in an earlier separate action that expanded its lower tariff quota by 80,000 metric tons. Those two decisions are being blended together in this public conversation, but they are not the same policy. The administration right now is responding to a real affordability problem. And according to the Bureau of Labor statistics, uncooked ground beef prices were approximately 9% higher in July than they were a year earlier, while beef and veal overall were up approximately 9.4%. The average price of regular ground beef is about $6.89 per pound. At the same time, the American cattle herd is at a 75-year low. Half in this generation of all cattle ranchers in this country don't exist anymore. So years of drought, expensive inputs, herd liquidation, and an aging producer population have all contributed to this shortage, including that 4 main big processors own 80% of the market. I mean, that's an issue as well. This is why American farmers and ranchers are angry. They survived years of drought, high feed cost, high fuel expenses, labor shortages, and market consolidation. Now that cattle prices have finally improved enough to encourage producers to retain heifers and actually make a profit, rebuild their herds, the government is now introducing hundreds of millions of pounds of discounted foreign beef. Now, I take issue with that. Knowing a lot of these guys in the space, working with Carnivault that does beef, chicken, and pork, the issue is this creates uncertainty precisely when ranchers are deciding whether to invest in expanding their herds. And so they're not going to do that. I mean, that's according to the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, not according to me. There is a serious question whether or not the consumers will actually see the promised savings. 300,000 metric tons sounds enormous, but agricultural economists only see it as about 3% of the overall beef demand in America. Also, imported lean beef is often added with blended fattier American trim to make ground beef that you like. One of the things is in this consolidation I'm concerned about is all the foreign meat that is mixed with our meat. And then that foreign meat, which I just saw a news segment on this, 30,000 pounds of Argentina meat were recalled. Well, it's too late. It's already in the system. And how are you going to recall it? And then when you have 300,000 metric tons, 661 million pounds, it also means that imports can increase the supply of hamburger meat, but they're not going to reduce the price of steaks, roasts, or really any other cut. And the policy could pressure cattle prices paid to American producers without producing anything close to a 25% reduction at a grocery store. The government says it wants to rebuild the cattle herd while simultaneously using foreign beef to suppress prices. Ranchers cannot expand overnight. That's not how this works. So if government intervention makes the investment less attractive, the short-term attempt to reduce prices could actually prolong the underlying domestic shortage. That's how this is going to work. And this isn't an argument against helping Americans who are struggling, which a lot of Americans are. People need relief for sure. But importing discounted foreign product is not the same as rebuilding American food security and supply. Long-term security requires profitable domestic farms. It requires more cattle, resilient processing capacity, which we don't have, and a supply chain that doesn't depend increasingly on decisions made overseas. And all this volatility, and I'm hearing it from ranchers and farmers, is why I'm recommending a minimum of 90-day food supply. And that doesn't mean buying 90 days of beef or panic buying because of one announcement. That's not what I'm saying. It means gradually building a balanced food supply. freeze-dried beef, freeze-dried chicken, freeze-dried pork, beans, rice, pasta. So food preparedness protects you more than an empty shelf. It protects you from inflation, interruptions in income, transportation problems, and instability in markets through the supply chain. You need to food prep. We need to talk about that more, and I'll have a breakout on Patreon, link down below. Lastly, Fieldcraft Outpost is back and we're training. We'll be at Route 66 and San Bernardino in the first weekend, Labor Day weekend actually, here in September. We'll be doing gunfighter pistol. It's almost sold out. Got a couple of slots left. Also, mobility course in Heber City, Utah, September 12th and 13th. Also, we have a radio course October 3rd and 4th with Evan from Ham Radio Crash Course. If you guys are interested, I'll link it all down below. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, peace out.